Welcome to Appium training by Wisdom Trainings. So let's start with the training video 2, which will talk about downloading and configuring Appium on Android. Right, there are lots of steps involved over here. It's not tough, but the number of steps and installations are a lot and you have to follow them sequentially. If you follow this video, then by the end of this video you'll be able to install Appium and automate an Android based application. Fine. Now before I start, there are few things which I need to discuss with you. Right. The first thing is about the installation of Appium. Alright. Now if I talk about installation, then what we'll be doing is that we'll be connecting the Android phone to a Windows based machine, my Windows based machine. This is the phone. I am mirroring my phone to this PC. Right. And using this app power mirror application, right? And later on we will connect the Android phone to the Mac OS as well. In the later modules we will be connecting to Mac OS and we will be installing Appium and automating the apps on Android phone. We can also connect iPhone and iOS device to Mac operating system and use Appium. Alright, what we cannot do is that we cannot connect the iPhone to a Windows machine and try to use Appium to automate apps on iPhone. Alright, iPhone has to be connected to the Mac. Now, one more thing about the applications which are installed on the Android phone. There are two types of applications. One are known as the native apps and the other one is the hybrid app. Okay, now talking about native app, you should be knowing the difference between both of them and what they are. The native app is specifically for the mobile operating system. Okay, that means by saying this, I mean that the native app is coded in the platform specific language. What do you mean by this? For example, if you talk about iOS operating system, then iOS operating system has the programming language known as Swift, and Android operating system has the programming language known as Java. So if there is any native app which is made for iOS, then the coding for that application will be done in Swift, and for Android it will be done in Java. Alright, it is specific for the mobile OS and it is coded in the platform specific language. The performance of native app is very good. In terms of performance, it is very good because it is coded in that platform. Alright, the language of that platform. If you talk about the hybrid apps, then the hybrid apps are like write once, deploy anywhere. You have to write the code once and you can make the hybrid app for both iOS and Android. This makes it quite reasonable for the clients as well, because you don't have to make the app and code the app separately for the different operating systems. Okay, now it also uses a web view. What is a web view? At times you must be knowing that, like if you open the app and there's a link in the and you click on the link looks like it's opening in the browser, but it actually opens within the application. That is known as a web view. At times in Gmail also, if you click on a link in Gmail on a phone, it doesn't open in a browser. It looks like it's a browser, but it's not the browser. So that is known as a web view. Okay, hybrid apps, they have the web view. And of course, since they are you just have to write the code which works both on the both operating systems. It is low cost. Right, Appium as a tool can automate both of them, native as well as hybrid apps. Both can be done. Right, now how does Appium installation work? Well, for that, this is your PC. Okay, and in your PC you need to have JDK 8. JDK 8 is the most stable version of Java. Alright, there are 9, 10, 11, 12 are present, but 8 is the most stable, and Appium best works with 8. Alright, and then you have to install the Android. You have to install complete Android on your PC. The reason being that, suppose if you have to automate any application like WhatsApp and you have to connect your phone to the PC, then you have to make sure that the phone is to be detected in the developer mode. That is, Android should be able to detect the phone. If Android which is installed on your PC is able to detect the phone, that means you are actually a developer. Okay, because the developers, they use Android with the phone, right? And then only Appium can be installed. Appium installation comes in the end. Alright. Okay, first Android has to detect the phone, Android on your PC. So basically, we have to connect the phone, and the phone has to be detected normally by the PC. And then the phone has to be detected by the Android which is installed on the PC as well. And after that, Appium comes into the play and you have to install Appium. Okay, so the whole process starts with JDK and Android. Okay, I have actually jotted down few points over here, which basically says that 4 GB minimum RAM is required and a very good operating system, JDK, Android, and there are many other installations as well. Okay, Appium comes basically in the end. Okay, so let us start with this, and what we will do is that we will follow these steps one by one, and by the end of this tutorial you should be able to automate your applications on Android phone connected to the machine, or an emulator as well. We will be using Android emulator by the end, so that if you don't have Android phone, okay, you can use the emulator as well. Alright, so let's start with this. Now, about the installation of JDK 8 and setting the Java home. Maybe you have done this earlier, but I need to tell you, right? Just go to Google and type download JDK 8. JDK 8 is one of the most stable versions. It is supported till 2030. Fine, so there is no harm in using it. You can use JDK 8. You can go to this link, and over here this is JDK 8 exe. You click on this and you will be taken to the Oracle website. Of course, this is Oracle website where you will be required to log in. Okay, and you can create an account and download the exe and install JDK. Once you have installed JDK, JDK will be installed in your C drive program files under the folder known as Java, and this is JDK. Okay, now you need to set the Java home property in the environment variables. Just copy this and go to my computer and go to the properties of my computer. You will see advanced system settings. Just go over here and you will see environment variables. Click on this button and create a new environment variable known as Java home. Okay, click on the new button and create this variable Java home, which will point to the path of JDK. Fine, and scroll down and there will be a path variable. Okay, edit this variable. In Windows 10 you will get a screen like this. In 7 or 8 you will get something like this. Okay, in Windows 10, for the path variable, create a new path to the bin folder of JDK. This is the JDK path, and under the JDK path there is a bin folder, right? So you need to create the variable, okay, and give a new variable to the path and followed by a /bin. Okay, just ignore this one which I have on my machine. Don't worry about that. You have to create it on your machine, the path to the bin folder of JDK. Okay, right. In case of Windows 7 or 8, you go to the end of this variable, give the path of JDK followed by a /bin. Okay, right. Now you click on OK, and Java is installed and it is set up as the environment variable as well. We have set it up as an environment variable because when you install Android after this, Android will come to know where Java is present on your machine with the help of environment variables. Okay, now what you need to do is that you need to download Android Studio. Okay, you click on the first link, developer.android.com. Fine, and let the link open. It's a very bulky software. to download and install, make sure you have a very good internet speed. There are a lot of updations which are done. Okay, so just download the exe and install it. Once you install it, you will get Android Studio. Fine, just open the Android Studio, and it's a simple installation, it's nothing complex. Okay, you just have to simply install it as any other software, right? And Android Studio takes a little while to open up as well. Fine. Now installation of Android is very necessary. As I told you earlier, your phone has to be detected by the Android. Fine, it's taking some time, it will take a minute or so to open, right? Meanwhile, if you have any questions, I repeat, you can go down and ask and speak your mind section, right? Now once Android is installed, you have to update a lot of things and install Eclipse as well. I'll talk about Eclipse later on. Fine, this is Android Studio. Okay, it takes a little while to open. Hold on. Right, this is Android Studio. In this, you will be having this small cube icon at the top right side. This is the SDK manager. Okay, software development kit for Android. It manages that. Okay, click on it and it will load a window right under Android SDK. Okay, first of all, this is the SDK location in your PC. This is the place where the software development kit of Android is present. Okay, if I open this location, you will see 4 folders: build tools, and after that platforms, platform tools, and tools. These are very important folders, and in the coming hours or in the coming time we will be using them as well. Right, now if you go back to Android Studio, okay, there is something written as SDK platforms and SDK tools over here. Okay, let us talk about SDK platforms first. There are different Android versions in the market. Okay, the right now R has come up, but 10 is the greatest and the stable release today, as of today. Fine, I have my phone, the phone which is connected to my machine is actually having the Android 10. Okay, now from Android 6 and above, alright, all these versions which are from Android 6 and above, from Marshmallow to Q, Appium will support all of them. Appium can automate all of them, and for the versions which are below that, you need to use some other tool like Cylindroid for them. Okay, but most of the phones these days are above 6. Okay, right, now every Android version is associated with something known as API level. Okay, in terms of a layman, a layman talks about the Android version, but the developers of Android, they talk about the API levels. Alright, for 6 the API level was 23, for 7 24, something like this. For 10 it is 29. Okay, right, you don't have to go much into API levels, but I'm just giving you an overview that corresponding to Android version there is an API level as well. Fine, now you need to install these from 6 to 10. Just install these versions. You must be getting not installed status. Just select all of them and click on apply, and installation will start. A lot of downloads will happen, and they will happen under the SDK directory. Okay, once the downloads are over, you can go to SDK tools over here. Alright, and you need to download a lot of SDK tools as well. Okay, what do these tools do? For example, you have to download the Android SDK build tool, okay, or the Android emulator tool. Okay, Android emulator will help you to work on the emulator, the Android virtual device, right? And you have to download the SDK platform tools and SDK tools as well. Alright, install Google Play services, install the Google USB driver. Google USB driver, it basically is something which works for most of the phones. This one, Google USB driver. When you connect your phone to your PC, the phone should be connected successfully. Okay, Google USB driver helps your phone to be detected by the computer very easily. Most of the Samsung phones and all, they get detected very easily once install the USB driver. Okay, but many times the phones also don't get detected by the USB driver. Okay, in that case you have to use the drivers given by the phone manufacturer. Okay, and then you have to install the Google WebDriver as well for the automation. Fine, and Intel emulator accelerator, which will increase the speed of Android emulator. Okay, don't carry both the installations parallelly. First install SDK platforms. Once that is done, install SDK tools. Okay, right, and maybe your Android will restart or something. Okay, sometimes it does. Right, once you have updated the SDK platforms and SDK tools, right, you have to set the Android home path variable. Okay, again you have to set the Android path variable in your system variables, the environment variables. Right, you right click on the computer, go to properties and go to advanced system settings and go to environment variables. Okay, over here you have to set the variable known as Android home. Okay, and give the path of the SDK, the SDK path which is available over here. Okay, give the path over here. Fine, then go to the path variable, edit it and create 3 new paths for platform tools, tools and platforms. Okay, give the path of SDK followed by platform tools, tools folder and the platform tool and the platforms folder. Okay, you have to give these 3 folders over here in the path. Edit the text in case edit text in case you have Windows 7 or Windows 8, you will get a screen like this. Put a semicolon and give all the 3 paths separated by a semicolon. Okay, click on OK, OK, right, and open a command prompt. In the command prompt, just type Android. If you get something like this, the Android command is deprecated. That means the Android has been successfully configured in the environment variables and installed as well. Okay, right, so this finishes the installation of Android and the updation as well. Okay, one more thing, traceview.bat file. If you open the SDK location and go under tools, you will see this file traceview.bat. This file is very important because this file helps your phone to be detected by the PC or by the Android. If it is not present, then you can download it after logging into your account. In the download code section, this file will be present. You can take it from there. Okay, don't think that you can skip this step if it is not present, because later on the phone will not be detected if this is not there. Okay, right, now comes the next part wherein we have to install the ADT plugin in Eclipse. And yes, let me tell you how to start and stop Android from command prompt. Okay, in the command prompt you go to the location of SDK. Alright, this is the location of SDK, and go to platform tools. Alright, and right now Android, in my PC Android is started. If you want to stop it, then this is the command, adb kill server. Okay, you give this command and Android will stop. Alright, and adb start server will actually start the Android services. Okay, there is a very low possibility that with Appium you will be using these commands, but for your knowledge I'm telling you, because very rarely we need to restart Android on your PC. Okay, it's very rare, but you should be knowing about it. Okay, now coming over to Eclipse and installing the ADT plugin. We write all the Appium code inside Eclipse. Okay, right.